Hello everyone, I hope you can hear me. So welcome back to round 2, or day 2 of the Zugzwang Champions Concours. If you missed yesterday, we have 4 players qualified to play today. We have Mr. Modif, Mr. Gao, Mr. Wang, and Mr. Baylor. And we're going to witness them duel it out to find the winner of the tournament today. So it is going to be a playoff style tournament. Now, unfortunately, we are a little bit late, meaning the games have already started. So we're witnessing one here between Mr. Baylor and Mr. Modif. Seems like they've gotten to quite a good start. As this is day 2, we have increased security measures, meaning that all players are on video call with their mics open, as well as sharing their screens, meaning there will be no fair play violations. And as a reminder, these players, the winner will win a chestnut go board, which is this one right here. Unopened, still in the box, but I have another board that I can show you if you guys would like. That's about it, and this is the first game. Let's see what the players have played here. Seems to be a French defense from Mr. Baylor. This is actually the pairings between the 2nd seed and the 3rd seed. This looks pretty normal in the sense that it's quite evenly matched with a 0.1 or 0.2 advantage towards black, but that's not really convertible. We're witnessing a couple of trades here, but it seems like white has gotten a material advantage, sorry, not material advantage, a positional advantage of 0.4. Taking back the pawn here, and now a real material advantage. Ooh. I'm not sure if this was intentional or not. It could be, but it seems that Mr. Baylor, instead of opting to castle, chooses to bring his king to the F file, the F8 square. We'll see how that works out. Kicking the queen back, looking quite normal. If we fast forward to the current position, this is the current position where it seems like white has sacrificed a knight in order to open up the king, with ideas of pushing forward or taking back and then pushing forward. The king seems to be in quite a precarious position here, as it could be close to mate, as is seen here. We'll watch how that goes. In the meantime, I'd like to move over to the second game, or the first seed game, between the number 1 seed and the number 4 seed, with Mr. Gao being the first place seed. Wait for it to load here. For those who are hearing Discord notifications, don't worry, that's not on your side. That's from the side of the players beeping out, which is fair given that they are on a Discord call, but it's alright. In regards to this game, it seems like white is at a quite decisive advantage at their level, in the sense that black has a 0.6 positional advantage. However, it is to know that these two are titled players, and therefore some of the high they could probably convert a 0.6 advantage, but we'll see how it goes. This is the current position, but we'll go back a little bit to see what opening they played. Seems to be a normal queen's gambit with the bishop on g5, pushing out the bishop. Opting for this sort of damage structure here, with the doubled e-pawns as well as the isolated pawn on c3. We'll see how that works out in the favor for white. But these are pawn liabilities, or could be liabilities in the future. While they may be protected right now with the queen and the rook in the future, they can be easily picked at by moving the rook to the e file and so on. So this is the current position. Let me just read chat real quick. Alright, it seems that he's employed a tactic of pushing up the a-pawn. Pretty sure that's what I've seen quite a few grandmasters, including Magnus Carlsen, do in certain precarious positions. But we're seeing Mr. Gao put the bishop on g4 to take advantage of this diagonal here and opting out of the trade of bishops, attacking the rook instead. I'm expecting Coalescent or Mr. Wang to go to the f1 square, rook f1. He chooses for this square instead. That's an even better idea, given that it takes advantage of this open file and attacks this pawn. However, black could simply fire back with something like b6, and I'm not sure how that works in the favor for white. With b6, though, there are ideas of going a5. The idea is that you could take, it is a pawn sacrifice, but the rook could go to b7, infiltrating, which is why Mr. Gao advocates for this move, protecting the pawn by way of his rook, not allowing the idea of a5. However, even though it protects against the idea, it does seem quite passive, and there could be tactics of a skewer, possibly in the future, if this pawn ever decides to move, and if the bishop could have that square. I think what Mr. Wang is going to go for right now would be something like a pawn break in the center, breaking up these two pawns, such as c4. But while that looks like a good idea, it's heavily disfavored by the engine, which gives a 1.7 positional advantage for black. Even though it creates doubled pawns, it's not favored for some reason. There's a tactic here where you could take, and the idea is that if queen takes... No, sorry, if queen takes, that still protects the bishop and wouldn't work. It's not a deflection tactic. I think that may be what Mr. Wang has missed here. We'll see how he recovers from this. c3. It's quite a weakening move, as it can easily be targeted by the rook here. I would love to see how Mr. Gao handles this. You can't move your queen to go to like b3, for example, because then you're losing protection of the bishop. Is there actually a way to protect here? I don't think so. Alright, we'll come back to that game. Going back to the game from before, between Mr. Baylor and Mr. Motive. Wait for it to load up. Ooh, it seems like we have our first result of the day, with Motive taking the first game, drawing the first blood. Let's go back and see what happened here. The position. I believe we were at this position. Seems like white opened up the king side, bringing in the bishop, bringing more pieces to the attack. Mr. Baylor opting for a rather protective approach, where he checks the king, going for an offensive approach while also defending this pawn, which is quite crucial, as it could mean a harbinger of doom. But chooses to take there, removing a key defender of this square, which is what he exploits there. where he's forced to sack his queen for the rook and bishop. Now, this could be drawn under certain circumstances. However, is that true in this case? I'm not sure, as this is quite an open position. And also the factor of the e-pawn being quite far advanced. Watching them. Ooh, he decides to sacrifice the pawn in order to infiltrate. Taking the pawn there. So he chooses to trade this pawn for this pawn, which is a decision. But we'll see how that works out. Sacrifices that pawn in order to get that pawn moving. Now this is instructive because he couldn't promote here because it would be taken by the rook. So he decides to take the rook with his queen. When the bishop takes back, you can promote. Not only do you promote with an attack on the bishop, but it's also a check, meaning that you can win the bishop back, as seen here. And this is the point where Mr. Baylor resigned. Modith coming out to a 1-0 lead, but it is the first game of the day, and we'll see how things go. Moving back to this game. It seems to be quite different from the last time we looked at this game. White here has a +7, close to +8 advantage on black. This could be considered an upset, as Mr. Colesta was the 4th seed compared to the 1st seed here. But we'll see how it pans out. It seems that he simply blundered a skewer. It happens to the best of us. And that's unfortunately unrecoverable, as seen with checkmate here in the corner. So both players are now into the second round. We have Mr. Gao taking on White here this time. They seem to go into a Scandinavian defense. Seems like, if I remember correctly, 1 win with White in the other match and 1 win with Black in this match. Sorry, both wins are by White. So let's see how it turns out when the tables are switched here. We're watching a Scandinavian defense. We'll let those two players play out the opening while I go to the other match. Give me a couple of seconds. Not sure what happened here. Click watch. Alright, seems to be stuck in this game. Take a look at this game. So simple h3, giving the king some breathing room, preventing back ranks in the future. White choosing to push forward the pawn, which is not favored by the engine. Choosing to kick out the knight, as seen there. White opting to protect the bishop by way of making this bishop quite passive. I think you could have gone for something like maybe a b5 or something of the sort, but I digress. And the final move of the game, we have bishop g5. I think Mr. Gao wants to trade off this bishop, which was not really of use in this diagonal, for the knight here. Mr. Wayne choosing to take the free pawn there, expecting them to take back, possibly with the bishop. However, I believe the knight is more likely. Okay, let's try again. Social clubs. So while we're here, just a reminder, if you haven't already, please be sure to join the Zugzwang Club chess.com club. We currently have 98 members. Looking forward to getting 2 members, pretty please, to get that number to 100, so we can brag that we have hundreds of members. Alright, members, sorry, not members. Let's Mr. Gal. Let's go to club events here. As you can see, we are quite accomplished. We have quite a few events that we've concluded. I'm seeing reactions on the screen here of the players. It seems like seems like a mouse slip or something of the sort has happened, where they're both looking quite distasteful. We'll watch this game if it will load up.